Hey folks, I am Kevin Iole from Yahoo Sports, and I've had a slew of fighters, Dana White, everybody on, so I decided to go a little different way today. A familiar face, no doubt, one you've seen. I can't believe it's been 12 years since the WEC days. Brittney Palmer. Hi, Brittney. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I am doing awesome. I really appreciate you coming on. I guess the first thing I want to ask you, what everybody else is talking about, is Tiger King. Are you watching?
I watched it. I finished it. It's
How long did it take you? I did it in 2 nights. How long did it take you to get it done?
well, I'm trying to because I know we have time at home, so I don't want to just binge through it because that's usually what I do when I don't have a lot of time. I'm like, okay, let me just get done with it, and then I'll be done. But now I kind of took my time, so it took about 4 days.
4 days. Okay, so I know after I watched that, I was like, now what? After seeing that crazy thing,
Ozark.
have you watched that? A lot of people have recommended that to me.
I've watched the first two seasons. I have like 3 episodes left on the third season.
Yeah,
Taking my
everybody
time.
keeps saying on Twitter when I put out, I asked the question, what after Tiger King, and they said Ozark, and everybody made the point. Season three, is it appreciably better than the other seasons?
Gotta watch all of them. You have time. Gotta watch the whole thing. And then Mandalorian. I'm also watching that.
Oh, so Gina Carano, so we'll get a chance to see her in that. Well, let me ask you this. I put a poll out on Yahoo Sports, or on Twitter, excuse me, the other day, where I asked people what they thought. Did Carol kill her husband and feed him to the tigers? What do you think?
I mean, probably.
That's
I
fine.
mean, yeah, sure.
That was kind of what I thought too. Just
Yeah.
kind of got shot him, threw him in there, and be done with him.
Yeah, she's just so like nonchalant. She's like, "Ma." So, yeah.
Tell what is give people an idea what your life is like as an Octagon girl, because I know that's not all that you do. You're an artist. You have your Instagram site, Brittney Palmer Art. I want to talk to you a little bit about some of your paintings, but like when there's a fight, like when do you get to the site, and what are your responsibilities and duties that you have to do?
So, I mean, we get there on Thursday night usually. Sometimes Ariane and I can like sneak in on Friday morning just to have one extra day at home, but they don't let us do that as often because flights and, so we get there Thursday night, Friday morning, we wake up, we'll work out, we have breakfast, we just take it really mellow. Then we have the weigh-ins, and then we usually do a beautiful dinner, and then we sleep in, and hang out until the fight day. And it's very relaxed. And, it used to be, I think in my younger years, we would go clubbing and we would go out and have all this fun. But now we're just like, we'll do masks, and we just kind of have like we're best friends. So we just have like a sleepover and like, just like go and watch movies in her room and, girl talk.
Was it scary a couple of years ago when Ronda Rousey was the champion and she got mad at Ariane, and I think there was kind of a little thing going on there. Was that scary for her?
If you know anything about Ariane, nothing really scares her. So she was happy for the beef, I guess. I've always liked Rhonda. I've painted her before. Her and I don't have any beef, which is good. So I'm, on the other hand, I'm a little bit more sensitive, so I'd be terrified. But Ariane, she's good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Now that was kind of crazy ago. I'm thinking, boy, if you're a ring car girl, you don't want one of those fighters mad at you. That would really be a
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, we're all on the same team here.
No, I mean, you mentioned you train. Do you still? I know before you had done a little bit of training in MMA. Do you still do that as a workout?
I do boxing classes and stuff here in Los Angeles. I trained more when I was living in Las Vegas because we had all of the
Right.
gyms there. So it was a little bit easier to do the tap out gym and train, but not as much as I'd like to. But yeah, I do boxing, but it's
I,
not MMA. And it's so funny when Ariane and I go. And they're like, oh, hit it like, the fighters. And we're just like, we look at each other. We're like, yeah, right. Like, because we know really what goes into this training and,
of
and
course.
actually how a fighter trains. But it's good. It's fun.
What is it like? Obviously, we in the media are fortunate we get those seats right up close by where you are. You have a little bit different angle and are closer. When you get some of those crazy knockouts that end up, and have you ever had one that the guy fell and got knocked out right in front of you? And, do you kind of cringe a little bit when you see those?
Like you said before, I've been here for 12 years. And when that happens, I'm more just like, yes, because I know that is great for the sport. It's great for the show. And that's what I want. I love this sport. I love working for UFC. So when I know that those happen, or when I see those happen, I mean, of course we cringe because we're human and we don't want to see blood gushing. But at the same time, we're like, hell yeah, that was badass,
Yeah.
because we genuinely love it.
Yeah, I love combat sports. I've covered for over 30 years, and so I love the knockouts, but I also know, hey, the toll was taken on the person getting knocked out, and so it's a
Yeah.
tough juxtaposition there.
Exactly. And we become friends with the fighters, like we're all a big family, and that's how Dana has, positioned all of us, and I think it's important. So in those situations where we have a friend that isn't doing that well, or, something that doesn't go kind of how we want it to, but we're professionals, and even though, I mean, as an Octagon girl, it's our job to kind of to be on both sides. So we have to stay very, like, we can't be so upset if someone that we love, like, loses, and we have
Right.
to really, play fair for everyone.
Is it ever get tiring? When you're walking around the ring and you have all these cat calls coming in, people saying things. I see you guys, kind of try to acknowledge people a little bit as you're going around. Is it rough though, as you're doing that?
It not necessarily. Sometimes when we don't get them, we actually feel more like insecure. We're like, oh my God, is it us? So it just depends, and also where we are in the world. Some states and cities are more aggressive than other cities, and so when we get uncomfortable, but we understand. We're very we're aware of what we're doing and the position that we're in and that we're
Right.
putting ourselves in. So it's not too bad, but sometimes it gets more uncomfortable when they're, aggressive. We are like, like, you know.
Did you go to the Middle East? Did you do any of the shows in Abu Dhabi?
No, I didn't.
So you lucked out there, because I
Yeah,
wonder that had to be a rough one.
I heard from the girls. We wanted to do it, and then I don't remember what happened. Ariane and I, we were like, we asked Dana, we're like, can we please go? And then something just oh, we were traveling. I think we went to like Europe that summer. It was last summer or somewhere around, and we were just like back to back on trips, and it would have just been too much, so we opted out,
Um,
which was a blessing.
Now, how is it like? There's a lot of Octagon girls now. Back at the time, it used to be two or three, and that was it. Like, how do they decide where you go? Like, are you kind of like Joe Rogan? Are you the A team? And when they're the big pay-per-views, Brittney Palmer shows up.
Exactly. That's what we say. And we like to say, like, they're like, well, and we're like, if Joe's there, we'll be there. But also, Ariane and I, since we've been doing this so long, and, we don't know how much longer. So we want to do more. And especially like my best friend, she lives in Austin. So if we have a fight in Austin, I'm like, can I go there? Because then I'll stay in
Right.
Austin for a couple days and see her. Or if there's like New York, well, obviously always New York, but like
Right.
if there's cities that like are specific, just that we've never been to that we want to, we'll ask, and they usually are pretty lenient and let us do it.
That is awesome. One last question. Do you have a favorite fight that you've seen? Is there one that like stands out in your mind that you say this is the best I've ever seen?
Oh man, you know what? I loved the BMF fight that they just had. I really liked it, and but it's hard. I've been here 12 years. Conor McGregor is an amazing fighter. I love watching him fight. Nate Diaz is an amazing fighter. I love watching him fight. Um, Uriah Faber, Jens Pulver, and WEC. That was awesome, and I
Those
still
are the days, yeah.
remember that one when he did this. It was
I,
so cool. Or when Anthony Pettis kicked off the cage. So yeah, and there's just so many, and they happen. And the fight that was just recent. I'm gonna butcher it, but they're all great.
did you get a chance at the BMF fight? Did you get a chance to meet the president?
No, I didn't, but I did see him.
They kept you away, huh?
Yeah, they had a tight ship because we didn't really know he was attending until UFC contacted us, and they needed all of our social security numbers and everything. We're like, for what? Like, what did we do? I'm,
Right.
like I said, I'm very sensitive. I'm like, did I do something? And they're like, no, it's for the Secret Service. I was like, oh, president's coming.
Yeah,
So
they got that done. I want to transition. You have made a living now doing painting. You graduate. Where did you graduate? You graduate UCLA.
So I didn't graduate, but I took classes at UCLA and then Brentwood Art Center, which is like a private art school here in Los Angeles. And I moved here. So I grew up in Las Vegas, and I was, working with WEC, and I was a professional dancer then. And then I was in a car accident when I was 21 years old.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, and I wasn't able to dance anymore. And I just completely, when I was pretty much bedridden for 3 months, I just started to paint, became obsessed with it.
Wow.
And then just moved to LA, and I was like, you know what? I just want to learn everything I can and master this craft, because I was obsessed, and I was so much of a better artist than I was a dancer. I naturally was picking that up better. So I moved here and I went to school and just took classes, 4 classes a week, 3 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I still traveled with the UFC, and I did that for probably like 6 months, 7 months, and then I got the cover of Playboy, and my schedule went, it just skyrocketed.
So your life changed a lot when Playboy happened.
And I was traveling so much, and then that between all of the press tours and everything, I couldn't. I just kind of stopped going to classes. But I always want to go back, and I will when I have the time.
I think I think it was Ariani on Instagram the other day, but somebody had a picture in their house, and there were a couple paintings that looked like they were your paintings. Was that her? Was that her house that had your paintings in them?
Yes, those weren't my paintings though. That is her friend. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But she does have my art in her house. I've given her paintings. She has drawings I've done of her, and she has like a big portrait in her guest bathroom. But yeah, it's wonderful. It's great to have my friends support me, and
How many of the fighters? And I know you've done Conor McGregor, you've done Dana, John Jones, anybody else of the fighters?
Amanda Nunes. I've done who else have I done? Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, BJ Penn. I'm going back. Let me see.
Yeah,
Ronda Rousey. Yeah, Ronda Rousey. I did her beautiful ESPN cover. I did that one. Okay. I do a lot. I mean, I'm so grateful because I have UFC in the promotion, so I can promote my art, which is what I'm, the most passionate about. And I've been doing extremely well and, been keeping busy with it.
So if somebody wanted to buy one of your prints, so let's say they wanted to buy one of the fighters, somebody wanted to buy Conor McGregor, where do they go to get that?
Well, fun fact, Conor McGregor owns that painting.
Also, he bought that. No other prints, huh?
No, there's prints. Yes, of course. So they would go to BrittneyPalmer.com. Okay. And even if they're interested in a commissioned painting, they can also access me through my website and just inquire about a painting. And there you go.
So if somebody wants Francis Ngannou blowing somebody's head off, Brittney is on the scene.
Yes, exactly.
Are you working on anything interesting besides fighters? Like, do you have anything you're working on right now?
I just finished a beautiful painting of Ganesh, which is the remover of obstacles. It's like a Hindu god. I'm working on a Buddha painting next. What else? I want to start a Kobe painting just for me. So the other ones that I'm working on are commissions, and someone had purchased them from me. But I want to do a Kobe painting. Now that I have all this time, I'm like, why not do the projects that I, really want to?
So how do you keep Hendrix and Banana Joe so white when you bring them into the studio when they're painting?
They're not as white as that you think they are. Their little paws are completely black. But I'm lucky. I don't know. People ask all the time. They're like, "Do you fluff Banana Joe?" And I'm like, I really don't. The poor dog he gets brushed at the groomers. That's it. And he goes to the groomers like once every 2 weeks. I'm a great dog mom, but I'm not like a bougie dog mom. Like they're not like pampered all the time. Like they're just like dirty little dust balls that pick up lint.
I have 5 Basset Hounds, and it's like I tell people they get better health care than half the United States does.
Oh my gosh, they really do. I mean, I give them everything, little punks.
Yeah, no, we definitely love them. So Brittney, any plans to go on to television, do things like that? I know, as you mentioned, that your career as a ring car girl may be nearing an end. What will be the next thing for you? Will you just keep painting, or will you have any other thing like that?
I mean, I'm not sure. I plan to be with UFC as long as possible until Dana says, Brittney, you gotta go. And as long as I keep up with my physique and, continuously grow with the sport, I hope to be with UFC as long as I can. But I think after, I don't think I only have to do one thing. I'm always going to paint. I'm going to start, showing in big galleries and hopefully one day in museums and create this beautiful artist career that I want and I'm striving for and I have been working for the past 10 years. But after, I mean, I love hosting. I live in LA. I live in like the hub of doing all of this kind of stuff. Right. So it's definitely not off the books of what I want to do. It's more just, the drive to go and get an agent and kind of like play that card, which I haven't done that yet.
Well, I appreciate you and all your time. You do a great job. Thank you so much for chatting with me, Brittany, and we will talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much.